recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivia Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivia Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list? Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
Erin.
I haven't started cooking more, but I have started thinking about cooking more, so I've looked at a lot of recipes for things. Mostly cocktails.
Zahkia.
I'm a very happy evil genius.
Yeah.
And Nick.
For all the listeners out there, if you spend enough money, you can be where I am today.
And the rest of the Trivia Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome to Trivial Warfare. This is the podcast that takes the trivia out of the pub and brings it home to you. This is Trivial Warfare, Oops, All Ladies, the Women's History Edition. I am not Jonathan Oakes. I am Zahkia Mendoza, and I am here with Erin Barkley. How are you today, Erin?
I am so much better than I was before you did that. That was delightful. How are you?
I'm doing well, Erin. And we have some awesome ladies here to play the game with us today. I'm just going to start who I see on the screen next to you and say hi to Meghan Mello.
What's up, Zahkia?
Up things, the sky. That's a really old joke, right? And we're also here with Leah Popielinski.
Hello.
Hi, Leah.
Hey.
And we are also here with Debbie Sutter.
Hello, hello.
Hi. So, our fun lady friends, I want you to tell me what's the vibe? What's the vibe we do? Your name, what you do, something fun about yourself, where you're located. ASL? No. And we'll kick it off with Meghan. Tell me about yourself.
Hi, I'm Meghan Mello. I live in Rhode Island. I work in sports medicine. And something fun about myself is that I'm in rehearsals right now for a ballet production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. That'll be happening next weekend.
That sounds beautiful. What are you doing? Are you performing?
Yes, I started ballet about 5 years ago as an adult. And I've been having the time of my life. It's been like a dream come true. I'm releasing all the little girl energy inside me. I got my first pair of pointe shoes. I had my first pointe stage production at the age of 40. So, hey, it's never too late to live up to your dreams.
That's awesome.
It's been so much fun.
How long did it take you to get on point? Because I know it's like about 2 years normally, but
about 5 years. Yeah.
Oh,
from first ballet class to getting pointe shoes was about 5 years. That
is amazing. Who are you playing?
I am a bug. Well, there are no bugs in the original Shakespeare, but I am a bug, and we have these really cool lights on our hands, so we'll be like lighting up in the audience, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I get to do a handstand on stage, so that's going to be really cool too. So
that's awesome.
I want to see this.
I know, right?
Amazing.
If you're in Rhode Island next weekend,
unfortunately, I will not be in Rhode Island. I will be in America's High Five. Thank you, Meghan. That sounds like I wish I could come out to Rhode Island to see you be the most beautiful bug I've ever seen. And let's have Leah introduce herself.
Hi, Hi, I'm Leah Popielinski. I currently live in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm the managing editor at Geeks Who Drink Pub Quizzes. And a fun thing about myself, my wife and I have the goal of playing miniature golf in every state in the country. We're not very far through. I know people, that's always the next question. I think we've only got 5 or 6 states so far. But we will have 2 more sometime in the next 4 months. We'll have Pennsylvania next month, and then Minnesota in July.
Okay.
So, we're working on it.
So I know nothing about mini golf or mini golf courses, but I will ask, is there like a holy grail mini golf course that's like the most spectacular? You got to go see it. You got to do it.
So a course, I'm not sure, although I would really like to go to, there's a very small one called Thistledew, just south of here, in fact. It's at a sort of spa kind of resort kind of thing, so you kind of have to be staying there in order to do it. But it's one of the earliest, and it's just sort of putting green style. It doesn't have fancy windmills or anything like that. But as far as holy grails go, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which we've been to a few times, has I think the greatest concentration of miniature golf courses in the country. And they are wacky and they are huge. And some of them have just incredible themes. Like we did one that was themed to Treasure Island. So every hole focused on a chapter of Treasure Island. It was very neat the way that they had it. Others are just totally cheesy and gimmicky, but the kitsch is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. So when we go to Myrtle Beach, we'll golf at least once a day. One time we did 3 courses in one day because that's, the amount of time we had. So that's all we did.
That is amazing. So thanks for all the mini golf knowledge. I was going to ask you on the side how far away from you from the pregnant stingray, but I'm not going to get into that in case that's like a question or something.
It's not. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. And Debbie.
Hi.
You. Hi.
I'm Debbie Sutter. I'm from the Boston suburbs, but now I live in the DC suburbs in Bethesda, Maryland. What I do, I am an attorney, and that's about all I need to say about that. And something fun about myself, well, it depends on your definition of fun, but in 2019, I ran 2 marathons. I did the Boston Marathon in April, and then I ran the Marine Corps Marathon here in DC in the fall. Trained for a third, which was supposed to be in March 2020. So that didn't happen. So I still say I trained for a third, but I didn't actually get to run it.
Wow. What was the third that you trained for? What's March 2020?
COVID.
Oh, no! What marathon did you train for?
I thought you were asking me why it got canceled. It was the the DC Rock and Roll Marathon, which we don't do anymore. But yeah.
That's a fun series. I've done a couple of their events.
Yeah, they do the half now. So I've done the half before, and it's a lot of fun. They don't do the marathon anymore.
I wanted to do the Rock and Roll Las Vegas at one point. I haven't done that. But in 2019, I did the Disney Princess for the first time. That was fun.
I want to do that one. But doesn't it start at like 5 a.m. or something because it's so hot?
It starts at 5 a.m. And when I did it, it was a heat advisory. It was already like 80 degrees at 5 in the morning. That's Florida.
Yeah. When I ran the Marine Corps, it was downpouring rain the whole time. So I'm not really sure if I would rather take heat advisory versus downpouring.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm lucky enough to never have ran in a downpour. But yes, secret. I am playing today, and Debbie is my teammate. So, and Erin's a runner. So hopefully there are running questions. I don't know. I'm just trying to foreshadow a game, Erin. I don't know if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
You'll have to let me know how that goes in a couple hours.
So we have met our 3 guests. I believe it is time for Warm It Up Chris, played by Erin Barclay.
It is indeed.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
So as Zahkia said at the top of the show, this is our Women's History episode, our Oops All Ladies edition. So what I'm going to do for Warm It Up, Chris, I'm going to give you an invention, and you're going to tell me if it was invented by a woman or not.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. We are going to start with Lee, and we are going to start with glass aquariums.
Sure. Yes.
That was invented by, it's a French name, Jean Villepreux-Power in 1832. That is a lady.
Hey.
Next up, Meghan, tell me about the hand-cranked ice cream maker.
I'm going to go with yes.
By Nancy Johnson in 1843. How about Debbie? What about the ironing board?
The ironing board. I'm going to say no.
It was invented, it doesn't say when, 19th century African-American dressmaker named Sarah Boone. It was a lady. Going to give you guys a little hint. Maybe don't think too much about game theory in this one. Zahkia, tell me about the outdoor fire escape.
So the way I'm thinking is anything related to like domestic, everyday, like actual chores, yes, but also safety because women like to save people. So I'm going to say yes.
Patented by Anna Connolly in 1887.
Hey.
Lee, back to you. Collapsible life rafts.
Well, that sounds very practical. So going by the same kind of train of thought, I think that, I could see a woman saying, yeah, that needs to be done. So let's go yes.
Her name was Maria Beasley, and she invented them in 1880, revolutionizing the transatlantic travel industry. Meghan, how about shark repellent?
I mean, that's one of the more badass inventions on this list, I would think. I'm going to go with yes.
It was invented by Julia Child.
Oh, what? No kidding. Oh, that is awesome. Unintentional seasoning?
How about, Debbie, how about the first commercially successful dishwasher?
Oh, well, I guess going with the theme of domestic, practical, I want to say yes, but I feel like we've had so many yet. Well, you said not to do game theory. I'm going to say yes. Yeah, it makes my life easier. So yes.
Mine too. Josephine Cochrane in the 1880s. Yeah. Zahkia, how about windshield wipers?
This is feeling very Warm It Up, Chris. Oops, all ladies. I'm going to say yes.
In 1902, an Alabama native went to New York City on a snowy day, and she was like, this, and invented windshield wipers. Her name is Mary Anderson. Lee, how about Kevlar?
I think I have actually heard that specifically that this was a woman working for DuPont, I think it was. Yeah, I might be making stuff up here, but I think it's how she got her foot in the door at the place. But yeah, so yes.
That is all correct. It was 1965, and her name is or was Stephanie Kwolek. Moving on, Meghan, the game that became Monopoly.
That is certainly yes. That was supposed to be like an anti-capitalist game before the Parker brothers stole it and corrupted it into
capitalism's all over it.
Yep.
Her name was Elizabeth Maggie, perhaps McGee, M-A-G-I-E, and she invented the landlord's game in 1904. And then we know it as Monopoly because capitalism. Debbie, tell me about coffee filters.
Again, makes my life easier. So I'm going to say yes.
Yes, I have no color for this because it was on a text that I deleted. Sorry. Zahkia, the paper bag.
Brown paper bag. That seems like that is super old. And yes, perfect for lunches. Very practical. I'm going to say yes, a lady.
So practical. I deleted that slide too, so I don't remember anything else about her. Sorry. Oh, no, sorry. Paper bag. There it is. Her name was Margaret Knight. A man named Charles Anand tried to steal and patent her idea first, but she beat him to the patent office in 1868. Yeah. We will go around once more. Lee, how about a foot pedal trash can?
Yeah, at this point, if any of them are a no, I don't want to be Yeah, invented by a lady.
Right. In the 1900s, Lillian Gilbreth tweaked and designed dozens of inventions, including the foot pedal trash can. Debbie, spray on skin.
Spray on skin? I'm trying to figure out what exactly that is. Like the Band-Aid that you can spray? Maybe.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I'm going to say yes because I'm a little embarrassed that I was the only one to say no this whole time. So, yes.
Don't be embarrassed. This was kind of a trick question round. But in the early 1990s, a woman named Fiona Wood revolutionized treatment for burn victims. Meghan, I'm sorry I skipped you.
That's okay.
I didn't mean to. You get non-reflective glass like you have in glasses.
Excellent. That is going to be a yes. I feel like this is like, here's all the cool shit that women have invented, and everybody needs to know that this was women that did all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that the world needs to be more grateful for us. And thank you for this round. This was awesome. Yes, this was a woman.
Indeed. And, well, okay, so this next one's going to be a little bit weird given the awesome things you just said. But, Zahkia, you get the disposable diaper.
Huh. I'm going to say yes, but speaking of famous women, I believe Jamie Lee Curtis has like a patent on some diaper that she's made with like pockets or something. So shout out to her, but I'm going to say yes.
Indeed. She was initially mocked by the men who dominated the manufacturing industry at the time, which color me surprised. Other things that would have been highlighted if we had to go around one more time to get the hints: chocolate chip cookies, home security systems, the toilet paper holder, and a gas heater are the things that were invented by women, along with contributions by people like Grace Hopper and Hedy Lamarr, which I absolutely can't boil down into just one thing. So that was Warm It Up, Chris.
Thank you, Erin, for Warm It Up, Chris. Or maybe Warm It Up, Christina.
Ooh, I like that.
So today's episode is number 472. We are on the main feed. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more, please come and become a Trivial Warfare Army patron. You'll have access to our entire back catalog, and you can hear more of me and Erin and our other lady friends and some of our, dude friends too. So our teams today are Meghan and Leah versus me and Debbie. Erin is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
So these are going to be questions relating to the month that it is, which is Women's History Month. And we're going to start round question 1 with a current events question.
Love it.
A March 3rd, 2024 college basketball game averaged 3.39 million viewers. It was the highest rated NCAA women's basketball game since 1999 and featured Ohio State and what other team?
I know this one. We can lock in if you trust me on that. All right, we're locked in.
So, Debbie, I believe when Erin was reading, I was typing out the name Caitlin Clark. Because, she is the moment. She is queen. She's got really beautiful hair. I don't know, the color of her hair is so rich. I don't that's such a weird thing for me to focus on when she's such a spectacular athlete. But yeah, she is breaking all these records, and she plays for Iowa. So.
Yeah. So, I think she just beat the record too. And maybe it was at this game. So viewership thinking she was going to beat the record that a man had held. So, we said Iowa.
Yeah, locking in Iowa.
All right. Leah and Meghan?
Yeah, I was also typing in Caitlin Clark as Erin was reading the question. And I believe, so she had set the NCAA women's scoring record a couple of weeks before, but I believe this was the game that she beat Pete Maravich's all-time NCAA scoring record. It was Iowa.
Yeah, at the beginning of the question, I was anticipating an entirely different question. So I was all ready to, because, started off with attendance numbers, right? Or was I making that up? Yeah. So I was getting ready to type volleyball, and I'm very glad I
Yeah, you guys said all the stuff that I had to say. Women's sports is really having a moment, and a big part of that is Caitlin Clark and her absolute dominance over anyone who's ever played college basketball. And it's going to be super exciting when she joins the WNBA next year. She plays for Iowa. This was the game where she passed Pete Maravich's record. One thing that has been getting talked about a fair bit that I just want to mention is that there was another woman who actually holds the record with 4,061 points. Her name is Pearl Moore. She played for Francis Marion College in the late 1970s. This was before the three-point line. This was also before women's basketball was recognized as an NCAA sport, which is why she hasn't been in the conversation as much, but she was as much a GOAT, if not more, than Caitlin Clark. So put that down in your trivia notebooks.
Yeah, shout out Pearl.
Yeah. Round 1, question 2. Still current events. We're calling this great news from the world. I don't know why I said we. This is just me in here. On March 4th, 2024, what country became the first to officially enshrine abortion rights in its constitution?
Okay, want to lock it in, Debbie? All right, we're locked in.
Will you, Megan, talk it up?
I did hear something about this. I feel like it's a Catholic nation or a Christian nation, which is why it was extra surprising.
Yeah. Was it European, South American?
Yeah. My first two thoughts were Argentina and Greece.
Oh. So the answer is yes.
So one South American, one European. I think it was Greece. I'm going to be really mad at myself.
Although with an Argentinian pope, that would be so symbolic. Like,
oh my God, right?
Yeah, so, do you ever have answers that? Go ahead.
I feel like Argentina was voted on abortion access last year in 2022 or something, okay. But I don't think it was necessarily enshrined in their constitution. But I did just see something about, I don't know if they were the first Orthodox country to accept abortion, but I just saw something about Greece and abortion.
Okay. I think it sounds like Greece is probably a better answer. Probably would have crossed my plate, because of the Pope thing.
Right.
Not that I, follow Pope news or anything like that. It just seems like it would be a particularly, not that it's a small deal, but an even bigger deal. So if you feel good about Greece.
Let's say Greece.
Sure.
I don't know if I feel good about it, but let's say it.
Let's say it.
Greece.
It is the word.
Okay. Debbie and Zahkia.
Hit him, Debbie.
So I was out to dinner with friends like 2 days ago. And when I think around the time this news came out, we were joking, like, if things don't go well in this next election, we're all moving to this country. So this was very familiar in my head. It's France.
It is France. Megan, I think you were thinking Greece recently legalized same-sex marriage, which was a big deal.
That's what it was.
They're the first Orthodox country. To do so.
I knew it was something about Orthodox. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah. So France actually, they are not a country where I think people were particularly concerned about abortion rights, but I think they kind of looked across the pond and were like, we should just get this done. And they did. It was France earlier this week. Round 1, question 3 is your obligatory hockey question. Let's go party. Also in early March of 2024, the Professional Women's Hockey League announced that they would add what non-sport company to their sponsors?
Non-sport.
Correct.
Okay, we are locking in.
Okay. That means Zahkia.
So I recently saw something, and I think it's Molson, that put their company logo on the top of a women's hockey jersey, so you could see the name at the bottom. And I think that's Molson. But Debbie, you picked up on something interesting in the category name.
Yeah. So in the first line of the question, "Let's go party," my first thought was the Barbie girl song, like, "Come on, Barbie, let's go party." Yeah. So then I was thinking Mattel. I mean, it's been a while since the Barbie movie came out, so it's not like right after the movie, but with the Oscars and everything, it's still kind of on people's mind. But I have no actual knowledge of the answer to this question at all, and I was just going off of that first line. And so I was asking Zahkia, what is Molson? I have no idea what it is. Because I was thinking also the other way I could go is like, alcohol party. And so if it's a beer company, I still think that would be relevant. So
Molson is beer.
Yeah. So I think you have like a vague frame of reference for this, and I do not. And I'm just going off of that one line and thinking like it could be Mattel or something like that.
I mean, that's something really good to clue into. But we can go Molson, and if it's Mattel or Barbie, I will eat crow, or what's the phrase? It's something weird. I'll eat a bird.
Yeah, I'm fine going with Molson since you have some vague recollection of this happening and I do not.
Okay, we'll lock in Molson.
All right. Leah and Megan.
Megan also latched onto the party line, and that took us quickly to booze. I think we both very briefly thought about Party City, but that did not sound particularly hockey-ish. I think that the Mattel line sounds pretty convincing, but just brainstormed a little bit about what boozes would be most likely. Megan suggested Bud Light, and last year Bud Light was getting pushback for being LGBTQIA plus positive. We thought maybe they would be leaning into that and going after the demographic that they are currently, being associated with. So we went with Bud Light.
Okay, 10 points to Orange Cat. I ran this question in my live game last week and y'all did the same thing, and I apologize for that. But I think the problem is that Aqua is always on my mind, regardless of whether movies are not. Debbie, so Zahkia, do you like your crow well done? I don't know how to crow. It is that bird.
When Debbie said Barbie, I was like, oh crap, that's it. Oh no.
Same.
They're making PWHL Barbies. The Molson News, and again, I asked this question on Tuesday, the Molson News dropped the same day, and I'd shared it in my story. So all of my players who were also friends of mine were like, aha, we know this. I'm like, no, you don't. No. So you guys fell into the same trap. But that is also something that's happening that's really cool. Molson has purchased the rights to put their logo on the back of the PWHL jerseys, and they're putting their logo at the top so the player's hair doesn't cover their nameplates, and you can still see the player's name, which is so cool and something I had never thought about.
Wow. I believe the NWSL does that too. The soccer league has the nameplate under the number.
I think you might be, yeah. Awesome. I love that. I love thoughtful branding. After round 1, Debbie and Zahkia have 20. Lee and Megan have 10. As we go into round 2, I will tell you guys now, and I'll try to remember to say it again, rounds 2, 3 in the midpoint, well written by Kit Sikelski, who is an absolute treasure of a human. So get excited for these. Round 2, question 1, category is The Voice. The voice. The voice of Bernie Wagonblast is heard by millions of people every day in what location? I will paste that because I probably mispronounced her name.
Yes.
I would say be, for all of you, be as specific as you can.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
We are locked emoji, I think. Yeah, Debbie?
Sure are.
What do you think of that?
I kind of like that.
Okay, so we had been going in the direction of Siri or Alexa, but as Megan was rightfully pointing out, that would be tricky. And as far as the location clue goes, specific could mean Apple phones or Android phones or whatever. But we were hung up on the location part. So the last thing I tapped to Megan was subways.
And if we're being specific, we would probably want to say like New York City subway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which would be the obvious one to go with if you were going to go with a subway.
I haven't been to New York in far too long, but I could see that voice being female.
Yeah, I was there a year ago, and I don't have a specific memory of the the stay out of the doors message at all.
Please stay behind the yellow lines.
Exactly, but it's feasible. It would be a location. It would be heard by millions of people.
That's better than anything else I have.
All right, so New York subways?
Sure.
Okay, we're going New York subways.
All right, Debbie and Zahkia, talk to us about your feelings about that.
How did you make the leap from Siri, Alexa to subways? That is a leap.
By way of Disney.
Disney?
I was thinking Disney, the loudspeaker, the announcers over the Disney parks. I'm thinking of places where millions of people go daily.
Permanecer sentados, por favor. Please.
Maybe it's clear that we have a very similar answer, but I think I remember this, Bernie. I want to say Wagenblast. It's a trans woman. And like, I think I remember hearing a story that there is a trans woman that's the voice of some subway system. And I think it is New York City. And that makes it a cool question that it's notable.
It is a cool question, and it is the New York subway, and she did come out as trans in 2023. Nice job. I love this part of it because I saw your message come through when you were like subway, and then Meghan started talking like, oh, she hasn't seen it yet. And then your little ooh when you saw it, I'm like, I need to pick up my coffee so you can't see my grin. That was really fun. Yay, points. Round 2, question 2. Category is geography.
Geography.
What is the only sovereign nation named for a non-fictional human woman?
We're just having a grand old time over here. Yep. That was so we're gonna
Are you guys locked in, or do you just put the picture in the chat?
Oh, yeah, we're locked in.
I wasn't sure if that was a lock-in because that was like a mid-laugh lock-in. I'm fairly certain I've heard this before, and I'm fairly certain she's a real person, and I think it's St. Lucia, however it's pronounced. I'm not sure. The tiny island in the Caribbean, St. Lucia.
Yeah, definitely definitely feels like it would be New World.
A real, yeah.
Either, yeah. So trying to go through Central South American names. Yeah, I'm cool with that, especially if you feel like you've heard this before.
I think I have, but
St. Lucia.
The non-fictional is throwing me a little bit. That's where my confidence is a little shaken.
Yeah, because saints are sometimes semi-fictional.
Let's go St. Lucia. Or Lucia, or however it's pronounced. That one.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Zahkia, do you have a hunch as to where they might have heard this before?
Yeah, Debbie, do you want to tell them where you might have heard this before?
The reason why Zahkia and I were laughing was because, Zahkia threw out the country first, and I responded, yes, this was on a past episode as a wrong answer.
Oh.
And she said, I think I hosted that one. And I said, I think you did too. And I know the answer to the question from the past episode, and we were just laughing because, yes. So we also locked in with St. Lucia because I remember that from the wrong answer, and the reason why that was wrong was...
I didn't listen to that episode, and maybe Kit didn't either, but it is St. Lucia. It is named in honor of Lucia of Syracuse. I think Kit was expecting some people to guess Ireland. Ireland was named for a goddess and not a real person, but you guys didn't even fall for that red herring. You just went straight to the correct answer. It was great. Yay.
Thank you, past Zahkia.
Yay! Time traveler.
It's like I tell my regulars when they complain that I reuse categories, I'm like, trivia's not about how you know it, it's about what you know. Mm-hmm. So if you remembered it, good job. And they never do. Round 2, question 3. Your category is mythology. The Lilith mentioned in the name of the Lilith Fair concert tour refers to the mythological first wife of who? Whom?
Locked in.
Yeah. So, I have nothing here.
So I believe that Lilith is like the first wife of Adam in certain mythologies. That there was, before Adam and Eve, there was Adam and Lilith was like a sexy vampire, and she was too much woman. So they like, scrap it. Nah, let's make Eve. So
wholesome Eve.
Who still apparently was weak. I don't know.
Yeah.
I believe it's Adam. So
yeah, I'm good. I'm good locking with that. That
right.
Makes sense to me.
Let's lock in Adam.
They have locked in. Meghan and Liam?
Well, I didn't know this until yesterday when it was a BP question.
Yep.
Yeah, we also locked in Adam.
And I didn't know it at all. I mean, I didn't know it from yesterday. I went to the Lilith Fair in like 99, I think. It was a just amazing slate of performers. Indigo Girls, Erykah Badu.
Sarah McLachlan, right?
Sarah McLachlan ran it, so she was at everyone. But yeah, I probably learned it around that time. Yes.
Cool. I was old enough to really, really want to go to Lilith Fair and too young for my parents to let me go when it was a thing. And it looks so cool. But the answer is Adam. According to myth, she was created at the same time, but was banished from the Garden of Eve for refusing to be subservient to him, which, that tracks. If you've ever been to the Met in New York, there is a sculpture called Lilith, and it's in a stairwell, or when I was there in 2016, it was there, in a stairwell in the modern art wing, and it's just this sculpture of this woman crouched on the wall, just staring at you. It's fantastic. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up or just go to the Met, which is probably a better choice. That was a clean sweep. Woo! Points for everybody all around. Debbie and Zahkia have 50. Lee and Meghan have 40. Lee, I keep trying to put an extra syllable in your name, and I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm doing that.
No, it is Leah.
It is Leah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to do it. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so bad at this job. All right. Round 3 also comes to us from Kit. And
thank you,
round
Kit.
3. Yes, thank you, Kit. Round 3, question 1 is literature.
Literature.
The protagonist of what Virginia Woolf work begins the novel as a boy in the 16th century and ends the novel as a woman in the 20th century?
We can lock in.
Awesome.
So, Debbie, welcome to my Achilles heel, which is literature, especially all of 20th century. So I know who Virginia Woolf is. I don't know who's afraid of her.
Oh man, this is my Achilles heel too. So this is not great. So we're looking for the title of the work, not the title of the protagonist.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't even throw out a potential.
Is To the Lighthouse
book.
her?
It's written by a woman. I was just kind of refreshing my memory of this last night in preparation for this, and one of them was it was which of these novels are written by women, not who the author is. But yes, that was written by a woman from what I remember from studying for that. So, I mean, if we got nothing else, I'm fine going with that because I'm just not coming up with anything.
Same. I know things about her. I know that she's puts the stones in her pockets and suicide. That's an awful thing to know about someone.
But I can't think of someone else who has written that book either. So it's not like I know it's definitely not her. So I just don't know who wrote that. But yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah, let's To the Lighthouse. That's what we got.
All right. Lee, you had this right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I was coming out of the closet in the 90s, I tried looking for, classic queer literature to, just because you should know this stuff. So you don't get a whole lot more classic when you're a women's studies major in the 90s than Virginia Woolf. So I read Orlando around that time. And there was a movie with Tilda Swinton based on that book. I think that the dude version of her was Billy Zane. I could be mistaken about that, but he absolutely turns into Tilda Swinton about 2/3 of the way through, and it is Orlando.
Yes, I had to add that Tilda Swinton to my to watch list immediately. The movie is also called Orlando. I feel like you don't need you can just do Tilda Swinton all the way through. I don't know that you necessarily needed Billy Zane, but
she is versatile like that.
Yeah. She's so cool. Okay, sorry. I am distracted. The answer was Orlando, and that has made this a tie game.
Ooh.
Just in case. Yeah, you're curious. Yay. And I'm sure you are.
I have heard of Orlando, but Erin, who wrote To the Lighthouse?
I don't know.
Who did that?
No, I think that's also Virginia Woolf.
Oh, okay.
All right. I feel less bad then.
Yeah.
Yes. To the Lighthouse is made up of 3 powerfully charged visions into the life of the Ramsay family living in a summer house off the rocky coast of Scotland.
Okay.
That's that. I do not believe Tilda Swinton starred in the movie adaptation of that. Round 3, question 2. Category is business.
Business.
In 1972, Katharine Graham became the first female CEO of a Fortune 500 company. What organization did she lead?
Yep. The lock emoji.
Yeah, lock them.
Do you guys want a 3, 2, 1 this?
Oh, do you? Oh.
Yeah.
Right. You guys both tried to lock in at the same time, basically.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
3, 2, 1.
The Washington Post.
WAPO.
That's it. Anybody have any color they want to add? Nope.
No.
Debbie, you're closest.
Yeah. I knew right away. Washington Post.
Yep, that's it. I have a book about her sitting on my shelf. I'm not reading biographies right now because I need to read fantasy or I'd lose my mind, but it's on my list to read. Round 3, question 3 category is movies. In 2024, who became the first Native American woman to be nominated for a Best Lead Actress Oscar for her role in Killers of the Flower Moon?
Go for it.
Yeah, we can lock in.
We can lock.
Yeah,
Probably
do
3,
we
2, 1.
You want a 3, 2, 1 this one as well? Let's do it.
Sure.
3, 2, 1.
Lily Gladstone.
Yay. Things we were talking about at the top of the show.
Yay.
Kid also notes, if she wins, she'll be the first Native American of any gender to win an acting Oscar.
She makes the 3.5 hours worth it, by the way.
That's such a long time, though.
It is a long time, but you only have to do it once.
That's okay.
That's what I was thinking when I watched this movie. I was like, well, I'm glad I watched it, but I'm glad I don't have to watch it again.
Mm-hmm. It's like doing your homework. Right. After 3 rounds, y'all are tied at 70. This is exciting. Yay. The midpoint also comes to us from Kid Skelski, and it is on sports.
Sports.
Your question is, based on Forbes' list for 4 points each, name the top 5 highest paid female athletes of 2023. 4 of them are tennis players. The other is not.
Erin, you said this is 2023.
Yes.
Okay.
The year that just ended, which I say not to be snarky, but because no one knows what year it is.
COVID did a number on us with that.
Mm-hmm. Apparently Zahkia forgot about it.
Yeah. Like, COVID, what's that? Why does that stop you from running marathons?
Was the question international or domestic?
International. It's been about 5 minutes, but because we blew through round 3, I'll give you all another 90 seconds.
We have a list.
So y'all have locked in.
We have.
So
Debbie and Zahkia.
Okay, so 4 tennis players and 1 non. I think we came up with a non-tennis player pretty quickly, and we put down Simone Biles. She's awesome, and she's still an active athlete as well. It didn't specify that they had to still be playing, and retired athletes have sponsorships and they own companies and all that stuff. So we were thinking both present and past. So with that being said, and we're moving on to the tennis players, we started with Serena. I couldn't remember exactly when she retired, if it was 2023 or 2022, but nevertheless, she's amazing. She owns companies and sponsorships and all that stuff. So even if she's not playing, we're sure she's making bank. So we said Serena. And then Zahkia and I just kind of went back and forth on different tennis players. And we basically just went off of name recognition, or my name recognition alone, because I'm like, well, if I've heard of them, hopefully that means they're getting paid well. so like Serena, we also thought, or Zahkia threw out this name, Caroline Wozniacki?
Yeah, Caroline Wozniacki. Mm-hmm.
Another great tennis player that is not active, but probably is getting paid. And then we had 2 active players. So we went with Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka. I know Naomi was inactive for some time, but we believe she's back now. And so we think, just based off of name recognition, we know Coco just won Wimbledon.
She won the whole thing.
Yeah.
Grand Slam. She was
she's really young too. So awesome for her. So yeah, that's our list of 5. Biles, Serena, Coco, Naomi, and Caroline.
Okay. And Meghan and Leah.
We only have 2 names in common.
Oh no!
we have. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong. We could be wrong, but we agree on Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka. But we mostly focused on endorsements and who might be, having big old endorsement deals these days.
I'm pissed. I'm a lifelong gymnast. Ballet is a recent addition for me, but I'm a lifelong gymnast, and I'm pissed for not thinking of Simone Biles. But I don't think she's top. She makes a lot of money. I don't think she's top, though. I did mention Livy Dunn, who has the highest NIL money. She's still in college, but I don't know how much NIL she gets, and how much the NIL compares with professional salaries and endorsements in general. So that kind of excluded her. And then Leah started bringing up soccer, and we talked about Meghan Rapinoe and Alex Morgan. I think Rapinoe would have been higher on the list than Morgan. And then Leah knows more about tennis than I do, so she came up with more tennis names.
And I just named a bunch of tennis players who I know did well last year. Iga Swiatek, I know won major last year. We used Ons Jabeur, who is the first African woman to win a tennis major at least in the modern era, I think. So even though she didn't win a major last year that I can remember, she has probably been, in high demand for endorsements. Oh yeah, Aryna Sabalenka, who has, was getting like second place in every single major for the past 2 years. So just going by who's been getting a lot of attention, spewed out a whole bunch of names and then picked a few. So our final list was Serena, Meghan Rapinoe, Naomi Osaka, Iga Swiatek, and Sabalenka.
Iga's a good answer. Yeah.
Okay, so I will start at the top of this Forbes list that I found. Kit found, and I just found it myself. Number 1, making $23.9 million last year was Iga. How did you pronounce her last name?
Swiatek. And there is actually an N sound in there. It doesn't, she's Polish. So
Polish, yeah.
Speaking as someone with Polish heritage, it's going to be wacky.
Yep.
To American ears.
Yes. What Leah said, she is 22 years old and makes a lot of money. Number 2, the non-tennis player, her name is Eileen Gu. She is a freestyle skier from China. She made $22.1 million last year.
Cool.
Yeah. Number 3, $21.7 million, Coco Gauff. She's won all of the things. Number 4, $15.2 million, a tennis player you didn't say, Emma Raducanu. I think that's how you pronounce it. She was English. Yep. And number 5, with $15 million, the one you all agreed on, Naomi Osaka.
Oh.
She had a child last year, so she was out for a little bit, but she is back. Sabalenka was number 6. The only Williams to appear on this list is Venus. Serena retired last year, and apparently she took a hit. Venus makes $12.2 million, and it goes down from there. It's a lot of badass tennis players. Meghan Rapinoe is tied for 11th with 8.2. Her and Candace Parker, who's a basketball player. Alex Morgan, 14. I don't need to read this to you. You all can read yourself. After the midpoint, we are still tied at 80. Very exciting.
Hey folks, this is Jonathan, and this is not an advertisement. This is making sure that you're aware that we are doing a big meetup in Denver this summer, July 11th through the 14th, or maybe the 15th. We are meeting in Denver. We are making the plans now. We have a hotel block at the Magnolia Hotel by Marriott that is open for you to book your hotel room in the same place that others are going to be staying. A opening night party in a condo that we've rented for the occasion. We're going to have so much fun, and I want to invite you to join us. Head over to the Trivial Warfare Army Facebook group, and you'll be able to see the event that I have created for the Denver trip. It's pinned to the top of the group. You can't miss it. You need to follow along there for all of the updates that come out. And if you are planning to attend, I would ask that you flick yourself over from interested to going so that we can start getting a better head count of how many people we're planning for. We are going to have a great time. I hope to see you there. Once again, go to the Trivial Warfare Army Facebook group, and you'll be able to find the Denver Takeover event pinned at the top. All right, let's get on with the second half of today's game.
Round 4, question 1 comes to us from Kit. Your category is sports again.
Sports again.
On Major League Baseball opening day in 2024, Jenny Canvar will become the first woman to serve as a team's primary play-by-play announcer. What team will Canvar be broadcasting for?
I think we're going to lock in.
All right.
Let's rub some twigs together.
Yeah, I got a big old bag of nothing right now. I said Yankees at first, but then I think I was mixing up they have I think a minor league team that's coached by a woman, and that made news. So I think I was mixing up like that information with this. But Zahkia had a good point that like the Yankees are probably a team that has like legacy announcers. I would rule out like the Red Sox for that same reason. I think teams like that, they just have those men who have the voices that everyone knows and wants to hear. So probably a newer team, or just one that just doesn't have as long of a history with this sort of thing.
I really don't.
So maybe think of like cities where this would be more like they'd be more open to that. So I'm thinking like San Francisco, like the Giants.
I was also thinking maybe Play to Kit a little bit. So she's in Northeast Ohio, and the Guardians are there, and they just changed their name. So like, are they going like full progressive cool, or like are we going to a like? I feel like you mentioned the Giants, and San Francisco always seems like they're doing something like this too. Maybe I'm thinking football because I know they had like a female coach for their football.
Maybe.
About a minute.
The Ohio team changing their name, maybe switching it up, but the fact that they had that name for so long makes me question their judgment.
Can I have an answer, please?
What do you think, Zahkia? I don't know. I kind of want to go with like a place where they'd be more open to this and the audience would be more welcoming, and it makes me think like a place like San Francisco, but
let's go the Giants then.
Giants? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So we didn't have anything too strong to go on except for the old, I think I heard this somewhere route. I felt like I had heard this was the A's, but my confidence wasn't super high.
I felt like I heard this too, and I felt like it was a West Coast team, so I was good to go with the A's. If that struck something with Leah, and from Zahkia's reaction,
struck something with Zahkia for sure.
It's the so close reaction because we're picking neighbors, and it is the Yankees who have an affiliate with a female coach now. I don't remember which affiliate. So A's.
That's a good answer.
Yeah,
it's probably right.
Great answer.
And they're right next to each other.
We're turning into Family Feud. Good answer. Good answer.
Bay Area throwdown. Let's do it.
You love women supporting women. She was previously the backup play-by-play announcer for the Rockies, but beginning in the 2024-25 season, she will be the broadcaster for the Oakland A's.
Oh!
Yay.
Way to go, Leah.
Oh,
nice job.
So close.
So close. Really fair.
Round 4, question 2 comes to us from the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Hollister.
Hi, Chris. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Your category is activism. Beginning her work in the 1950s, Dolores Huerta, Huerta, was a key labor leader and activist for which group of workers?
Erin, can we ask if we need to be more specific?
Nope. You guys are specific enough.
Okay. Well, we're going to lock in.
Cool. Debbie and Zahkia, how specific can you be?
Haha, because I was just like, does Erin want a specific group? And she does.
She does.
So I know of Dolores Huerta. I know she worked with Cesar Chavez. I know their work is surrounding agriculture and the rights of people who literally are hands-on with our food every day. But the name of the group, the minute I hear it, I'm just going to be like, oh my goodness, Zahkia, why couldn't you pull that? So, brain.
So you don't need to be that specific.
Oh,
we can just say what type of industry?
Yes.
Oh,
so what type of industry? So we call it agriculture.
I'm trying to figure out how to get you to say you know. You guys know it.
Yes,
I kind of already said it.
People who pick our food.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I will accept that. Good job. Unless Leah and Meghan want to push back, but like agriculture too broad, specific needs organization too specific.
Okay, so yes, the specific group of people who work under the agrarian thing that go into the fields and pick the food that we eat.
Just say farm workers, Zahkia.
Farm workers.
Thank you so much. All right. Meghan, what did you guys say?
I said farmers, and then Leah chimed in with a more accurate migrant farm workers.
Yeah,
Yep.
specifically in California, but I guess that part doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't not matter historically, but yeah, for the purpose of Chris wanted farm workers, so I needed farm workers or something more specific than agriculture. Ooh, we got there. That was a journey. In 1962, she co-founded the National Farm Workers Association. She was a cool lady. Founded the National Farm Workers Association with Cesar Chavez, like Zahkia said, later became the United Farm Workers Union, which played a pivotal role in organizing farm workers for fighting for better wages. Yay, unions. Yay. Points all around. Yeah. Round 4, question 3. I wrote this one.
Thanks,
category The category is literature.
Literature. Thanks, Erin.
The story of Dinah, a minor character from the Book of Genesis, is central in what 1997 novel by Anita Diamant named for the place where women were stuck while their bodies were doing normal women body things like menstruating or giving birth to other humans.
Oh.
I like it, Leah.
Okay. The absence of anything more confident will lock in.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm laughing because of what Zahkia her first the phrase that she was trying to get out of her head was bleeding hut. So,
I would not read that book.
I mean, it, like literally, yeah. I guess it fits the clue. But then she went to you're going to a different place that I think it sounds broad enough that it could fit the category. Not that you don't bleed when you give birth, but isolation tent.
Mm-hmm. Isolation hut also sounds like something, but
that's what I was wondering. Like you said bleeding hut.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's because the hut part. I feel like this is a real thing, right? I feel like I've heard of this, but I feel like I've heard of like maybe tribes or something like that doing this too.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, and I'm just like I just don't remember what like that was called.
Yeah. Is it hut or a tent? Because I feel like I've said both of these phrases interchangeably, but only one of them is going to be right because it's the name of the novel.
Yeah, named for the place. I just wonder, like, hut is like just kind of an older word or like a name for something that's been around longer, and if this is story from Genesis.
Yeah.
Like isolation hut, isolation house, isolation.
1 minute.
Isolation chamber. No.
Isolation tank. I've been in one of those.
Yeah.
I like tent or hut. Yeah. So I'm going to let you choose because I don't feel like I have been super accurate this game.
No, you have been. I feel like I've learned a lot doing trivia, like to trust my gut or like first instinct. And you said bleeding hut, which makes like, I like the term hut though.
Okay.
Isolation hut.
Okay.
Answer, please.
Should we go with that?
Let's go with isolation hut.
Isolation hut. Okay. Yeah,
right.
We'll go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Isolation hut. Meghan and Leah? Yeah.
We kind of had a similar line of thought. We both had the same reaction of, oh, I'm going to know this when I hear it, but I don't know if I can pull it. And then Leah suggested something that sounded really good, but didn't sound familiar to me, so I don't know if I would have been able to confirm. But along the same lines that Debbie and Zahkia were going down, she mentioned red tent. And that sounded really good to me.
Yeah, it was more of a I mean, I don't know if it's right, but I know I heard of this author during that time period, and this was just a what feels familiar kind of stab. And when you said bleeding hut, that actually I was like, well, that sounds like the R-rated version of our answer. So that gave me a little bit more feeling of security. Otherwise, it felt kind of Bible-y and kind of sounds like a euphemism for someplace you might make a menstruating woman hang out until she's done. Yeah, so
Red Tent has a good flow for a title name for a book.
It does. It does that too. So that's this is one of those, if it's not right, it should be kind of answer.
Well, it is right. The Red Tent is the book.
Yeah,
I haven't read it.
I would say Red Tent's a way better book name than Isolation Hut. Yes. And Meghan, I don't know if you realize that you made a joke with Flo, but
oh, was that on purpose? Oh, that was on purpose.
I wish I could claim to be that clever.
It was great. Yeah, I haven't read this book. It pops up on like it feels cyclical. Like every now and then a bunch of people discover it and post about it on social media, and it's having a moment now. What did I do, Zahkia?
Cyclical.
Oh, anyway.
We should have made Jonathan stay on this call just for his discomfort with these jokes.
He'll be listening to this and blushing. All right. After 4 rounds, Debbie and Zahkia have 90. Leah and Meghan have 110. Still anybody's game. Lee and Meghan, y'all are perfect that round. Nice job. Round 5, question 1, also comes to us from Chris Hollister. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
In 1961, what dancer became the first African-American principal dancer with the Metropolitan Opera Ballet in New York City? Got about a minute.
We're going to lock.
Cool. Leah and Meghan, you got about 15 seconds.
I'm sorry to all of my ballet friends who are listening to this. I'm so sorry. I feel like I saw this on the ABT Instagram page where they did a couple of Black History Month posts, and I don't remember. I thought Misty Copeland was the first African-American principal, but she was definitely not 1961.
Right.
I know Maria Tallchief was the first Native, but I don't think she was African-American at all.
Need an answer.
Yeah,
sorry.
But they're not mutually exclusive. You can be Black and Native American.
You can be.
So we can go with her if we're not pulling anything more sure.
Let's go Tallchief.
Let's go Tallchief.
She's a ballerina. She was a principal.
The only ballerina I could think of was Copeland too, and I knew that was obviously not right. Zahkia she had some. Well, she came up with a name, but it was definitely a dude, so that wasn't gonna work.
So when you say like ballet, New York City, Black, to me, my first thought is always Alvin Ailey. Mm-hmm. And Alvin Ailey is a guy and he has his own ballet theater. So I was trying to think, is it someone who's like associated with him in a way? And then I'm like, I told Debbie, this is a name that I'm absolutely going to recognize. And when I hear it, I am going to turn into a monster.
Oh, no.
But there was a name that kind of stuck out to me, like Leontyne Price. I'm pretty sure she was a singer. Hopefully she did. I don't know if she did both. But like, so we went with Price.
Okie dokie. I'm looking up all those names that you just said. Yeah, Leontyne Price was a singer. While y'all were deliberating, I was reading about Misty Copeland on Wikipedia, and she had a very interesting childhood. She was the first Black prima ballerina for the American Ballet Theater, which is different than the other one. But yeah, she's the name that most people know. The name I was looking for, the first prima ballerina for the Metropolitan Opera Ballet, her name was Janet Collins.
Okay. Actually, no monster, because I've never heard that name before.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean,
we all learned something.
Yeah.
But we learned.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was just throwing out first names, just hoping something stuck with Zahkia. I was like, Sue, Gloria, anything?
Anita.
Right,
hoping to get that memory.
10 more points to Orange Cat, who has arrived to collect them. Round 5, question 2, category is feminine products. Ooh. What Japanese company, which turns 114 years old this year, developed Japan's first 4-kilowatt induction motor and has gone on to manufacture electronic systems and equipment, information and telecom systems, construction machinery, defense systems, and one product in particular that bridges the gap between traditional feminine products and feminist feminine products?
I think we're locking in. That's Leah and Meghan. she wasn't looking up at the time.
There are normally so few female voices on these episodes that it is easier to tell.
Okay.
So we're just throwing out
Japanese company names.
Oh, in my case, I might have thrown out a Korean company name too. I mean, we're throwing out Mitsubishi, Yamaha. Is Sony Japanese?
Sony is Japanese.
In 1910, so 114 this year.
So the first 4 kilowatt induction motor. So like, I not entirely sure what it means, but it makes me think of cars for some reason. So to me, like, what is a Japanese company that also makes like vehicles that also makes other things?
Yeah.
That's Mitsubishi and Suzuki, I think, makes other things.
Yeah, I don't think Subaru does.
I think Subaru. I don't think Subaru's also Korean.
Oh my god!
It's not Nintendo.
No.
But telecom systems, information telecom systems, construction machinery, defense systems. So this company has their hands in everything.
What is the one product? I feel like if we knew what that is, that might help us. The one product that bridges the gap between traditional
feminine products and feminist feminine products.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
What is a feminist feminine product?
Are we talking tampons here? Is like
well, that's what I'm wondering. Like that was my first thought when the question was read, was tampons. I feel like there is a weird fact about like a tampon manufacturer that you wouldn't. I mean, Playtex is not a Japanese company, so
1 minute remaining.
So my husband, like, we watch this very strange YouTube channel about this man from Japan who travels on trains, and he's got very strong opinions on toilets. So I'm like, well, maybe a bidet is related to that. And I know Japanese toilets are like super cool, but I don't know any Japanese toilet manufacturers, do I? So I'm maybe we should just go with the Japanese company that we think does the most.
Yeah. So that's Mitsubishi.
Mitsubishi or Sony.
I know Sony does electronic equipment. Does it do defense systems and motors and construction? I don't think I've heard of anything.
They do motion pictures.
Yeah. I feel like okay. Yeah, Mitsubishi.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm curious what this product is.
Me too.
Maybe when we hear it, we'll be like, "Oh, shoot!" But yeah, Mitsubishi, sure.
Okay, Mitsubishi.
Yeah, you might have that response when you hear what Lee and Meghan said.
Oh no!
So Leah came up with a suggestion, and I'm like, "But what's the feminist product?" And then she told me, I was like, "Oh."
So another Japanese company that has an enormous range of products is Hitachi. And the one product in particular that I'm not actually sure what traditional feminine product I don't know. Are we thinking that that personal massagers are traditionally feminine? I guess self-care or whatever. But it's been claimed as a feminist feminine product because it not only massages your back nicely and your muscles, it's also a clitoral vibrator. So that's the first thing I thought of. And so we went with Hitachi.
That's the answer. And for all the reasons. And I realized I got not dinged is the wrong word, but I had a question a couple of weeks ago that had the phrase in it, and a parent had to try to explain to their child why that was funny. But anyway, it is Hitachi. It is the Hitachi magic wand. Wow. I honestly, there wasn't really a specific traditional feminine product. It was just I was trying to find a way to massage you in that direction, one might say.
Oh.
I'm sorry if it led y'all astray, Debbie and Zahkia.
Let's just move along. Straying all over the place. It's okay.
It's what I do. It's how I do. Round 5, question 3. Your category is still feminine products. A concave retractable blade, that's in quotes, Consistently spaced diamond markers, a nail grabber, and a scribing tool are all features of what carpenter's necessity.
You said the category for this was feminine products as well?
Yes. About another minute. So I'm catching up on the NHL trade deadline, but I think it's been more than 5 minutes. So if you guys want to pick a thing, I can do this all day. Hey, I see a laugh icon. Leah and Meghan, pick a word, any word.
Well, we might have made it up. We're
struggling.
The one thing that we agreed on right from the start is that we thought maybe that the feminine product came from, and this one might be the name of the item. So we just went directly into coming up with, or trying to, things that would work there.
I didn't know if it was like a name, maybe like a Jill of all trades from a Jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of thinking of it as like a construction version of a Swiss Army knife. Leah said that she knew that there was a leather man that was kind of that thing. So we made up leather woman to make it feminist.
Yeah, it's another one of those, if it doesn't exist, maybe it should, answers.
It does, but that's Thursday nights at my local goth bar.
Yeah. Leather
Debbie's
woman.
a kid.
We struggled so much. We just were going through what this sounds like. The blade in quotes and a scribing tool. That's something you write. And the space diamond markers. So this just to us sounded like a level. So I'm like, okay, we just came up with different descriptors of levels. There were some fun ones. Debbie mentioned Swiss Army. I think I said like multi-level. We landed on
universal level.
Yeah.
Just thinking this could do a bunch of cool things sounds really useful. So I'm sure a woman invented it. Going back to our warm it up, Chris. Yeah, we thought like, okay, Swiss Army knife, like that kind of what this sounds like, but it's not. So yeah, we went with universal level. We couldn't come up with anything else.
But Meghan, I really like Jill of all trades.
So it may come as a surprise to nobody. This is going to be 10 more points to Orange Cat. Zahkia, I thought, so the conceit here is that any product is a feminine product if it's being used by a woman. It doesn't have to be pink or anything else or made by Hitachi. Zahkia, I thought you were going to get it. You said this is something you use to measure and mark something, like a tape measure, perhaps. Those are all features of a tape measure.
Oh.
Okay.
The time. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
A nail grabber.
What's the scribing tool part?
What is a scribing tool?
So I learned this when I Wikipedia tape measure. The metal thing at the end is designed both to grab onto nails and also if you squiggle it back and forth, it'll make a mark in wood.
So the nail grabber and the scribing tool are the same,
Same thing.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's a little metal bit on the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we all learned something today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I've run this question a couple times and I'm never sure how it's going to play. And despite it always playing like this, I refuse to make any changes to it. Girl power. All right. So after round 5, Debbie and Zahkia have 90. Leah and Meghan have 120. Orange Cat has 30. Round 6. These are all written by me too. Round 1. Category is comedy.
Comedy.
Yeah. In her 1999 comedy special Dress to Kill, Susie Izzard referred to what profession as just cheating at Scrabble. She claims it has 97 letters, although it actually only has 12 letters, and it would be worth 21 points if you played it in Scrabble. I will tell you rather than have you guys go down a rabbit hole, because I'm kind of just reading this question really for the first time. The connection here is Susie Izzard. It is not necessarily a feminist profession. 1 minute, please. Not please. 1 minute's just a fact. Please come up with an answer. Answers, please.
we were kind of focusing on like the Scrabble part of this, and neither one of us really remembered exactly how much each letter's worth. So I don't really know how this fits into the question or the joke that I still don't get. But my first instinct, the first thing I threw out was stenographer. I don't know. It's 12 letters. I guess I could conceivably see it being 21 points in Scrabble. I think like S and T have to be 1, and probably E and A as well, and G and H are probably pretty high, like 8 or 7. Yeah. So I don't. I just was kind of throwing out a name that fits the 12 part and maybe fits the 21 point part in Scrabble. And I don't really understand the rest of the question. So
I think I get it. So I think the joke is that the name of the profession isn't really anything that you see someone do every day, and it might seem like it's made up, but like, so you're saying, oh, you're just cheating at Scrabble because you're saying you're a stenographer. That's not like a real job. But like, oh, you're just saying something that has a bunch of letters so you can win at Scrabble. That's why I liked it. I think that's a good suggestion and cool.
Right. Leah and Meghan, which of your answers would you like to give us?
Yeah, we were kind of thinking along the same lines that it's kind of like just a bunch of letters thrown together that you wouldn't ordinarily see in conversation. Unfortunately, we couldn't come up with very much that fit that would have 12 letters. Cruciverbalist, which is too many. Zoologist, which is not enough. Xylophonist, which is not enough. Vexillologist, which if we spelled it maybe in an inventive way could be 12 letters, but I think it's actually 13. Psychologist has 12 letters and has a bunch of random letters put together. I don't know. I think we're going to go with psychologist. I think these are going to be 10 more points to Orange Cat, considering how long it took us both to come up with a cohesive answer. And in our case, I don't know if it even is too cohesive, but it's 12 letters, so psychologist.
Yeah, this is Orange Cat sitting at a cool 40 points now. The world is apparently broken up into two types of people. There are those who have seen Dressed to Kill and those who have not. I include this question because Susie is a pretty prominent trans comedian. Dressed to Kill is under her given name of Eddie Izzard. I think she's sort of said that she's like, just call me whatever. You know, she's interesting in that regard. I watched this special 15 times a week when I was a kid. It is somewhat foundational to my sense of humor, and I suspect there are a lot of people in their cars who are nodding their heads along with me. The joke is this profession is the chiropractor. 97 letters, and that's just cheating at Scrabble. So if you are like me, you would have known this cold, and apparently it's a bit of a yuckoid, so I apologize. I said this in Leah and Megan's chat. I'm like, I promise, whatever y'all pick, just pick something. It's not going to matter what it is. And that was not meant to be a dig at you guys. That was a dig at me. This is not the best question I've ever written. But y'all's homework is to go find Dressed to Kill and watch it because it's fantastic.
No, I've just written chat. There are three kinds because there's also the kind who have seen it but don't remember that part. So
haven't seen it enough.
Yeah, apparently yes. That I'll accept. We actually saw Susie Izzard live last fall, summer, sometime around that time, and a sort of rehashing of her best of kind of performance, and she was amazing, but she did not do the chiropractor sketch. In here. Yeah, we got cake or death.
Oh yes, a couple of my friends just saw her in a one-woman show of Hamlet up in New York, which I'm sure was mind-blowing.
I know who she is.
Yes,
and I know she was in Across the Universe.
Yep,
that's it.
Very cool human. Okay, moving along. Round 6, question 2, category is marketing.
Marketing.
Marketing. In March of 2023, Bud Light collaborated with what trans influencer for a March Madness promo? Because Bud Light's primary market is, shall we say, not trans women, there was a significant backlash to the partnership.
Okay, yes, we can lock that one in for sure.
Okay. Do you guys want to 3, 2, 1 it? I think both chats. Yep. Yeah? A little quicker this time. All right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Dylan
Mulvaney.
Yay.
We already talked about this with the hockey question in the first round.
Try to keep a straight face. I'm like, cool. This will be a feel-good question later.
Yay. Well, yeah, after the last couple, we needed that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh.
And round 6, question 3, category is women in history. Marsha P. Johnson, who claimed the P stood for Pay No Mind, is perhaps best remembered today for kickstarting what 1969 event, which is itself remembered today for kickstarting a larger movement.
We're locked in.
Yeah. Yeah.
3, 2, 1 this as well.
Do I know 3? Sure. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Stonewall riots. Or just
Stonewall.
Yeah.
Hooray, riots. Points all around. Okay. So going into the gauntlet, scores are Debbie and Zahkia with 110, Leah and Meghan with 140, Orange Cat with, I think, 50. But he's staring off into space, so he's not going to wager anything. Go ahead and place your bets.
Our wager is locked in.
Our wager is locked in.
Gauntlet, question 1. Kit writes a bird question. Yes, of course she does. What species of hummingbird native to Western North America was named for a 19th century French princess?
Hang on.
Yes, 19th century.
All right. Our answer is locked in.
Our answer is locked in.
Okie dokie. 2. Kit writes a Pittsburgh question. A trio of yellow suspension bridges in downtown Pittsburgh is referred to as the Three Sisters, even though 2 of them are named for dudes, Andy Warhol and Roberto Clemente. The third is named for what environmentalist and author of Silent Spring?
Oh, I do know this one. Yeah. Our answer is locked in.
Our answer is locked in.
Lovely. And number 3, Kit writes an art question. Artist Faith Ringgold is likely best known for her work in what medium, including her works Tar Beach 2 and Who's Afraid of Aunt Jemima?
Cool. Our answer is locked in.
I know very little about art or artists, female or otherwise. We're locked in.
Okie dokie. Let's go back to the top. Kid writes a bird question. What species of hummingbird was named for a 19th century French princess? Zahkia and Debbie, what did you guys say?
We said Belle, the Disney princess. Belle hummingbird.
Disney princess.
We struggled to come up with a 19th century French princess. So we said a fictional one.
Yeah.
Okay. Leah and Meghan?
Well, like you guys were talking about, the French monarchy ended in the end of the 18th century. So we were like, so Napoleon was in the 19th century France. His wife was Josephine. I don't know if she was technically a princess. I think she was technically an empress, but we didn't have anything better, so we went Josephine.
Okay. Number 2, bridges. Trio of yellow suspension bridges are the Three Sisters, Andy Warhol, Roberto Clemente, and who? Leah and Meghan.
Well, Silent Spring was Rachel Carson. So, yeah, we landed on that pretty quickly.
Okay. Debbie and Zahkia?
Yeah, same. We both said Carson right away, Rachel Carson.
So speedy. And finally, what medium does Faith Ringgold work in, Leah and Meghan?
Well, the collage is what we finished off with, although we, considered several other things. But I think they sounded a lot more confident than we do.
Zahkia and Debbie?
So I'm going to let Zahkia handle this. She's got a personal story here.
I met Faith Ringgold when I was a little. And I happen to know, I met her at a book signing because she had written a children's book, Tar Beach, but her main medium, which Tar Beach 2 is quilting. So we said quilt.
Okay. So for answers, we're going to start with the one you agreed on, and you all got this super quick. It would have been a 3-2-1 if it hadn't been in the gauntlet. Rachel Carson wrote Silent Spring and has a bridge named for her in Pittsburgh. Yay.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. Faith Ringgold, when y'all started talking about collage, I'm like, oh, maybe this is going to trigger something. She is a quilter. Unfortunately, it did not. Oh, the flavor text. Rachel Carson was born in nearby Springdale, Pennsylvania in 1907. And finally, the species of hummingbird native to Western North America, named for 19th century French princess. Kit notes here that the American Ornithological Society is in the process of renaming species that are named for people. So this is not a question that has a particularly long shelf life, but you might as well memorize the fact that is Anna's hummingbird, named for Anna de Belle, Princess de Essling. She was a French courtier. She married an amateur ornithologist, Francois Victor Messina, who was the second Duke of Rivoli and third Prince d'Essling, and had 4 children. I learned all of that while y'all were discussing it because I had no idea either. My connection to Anna's hummingbird is I really like playing it at Wingspan because I think it gets you free food when you have it. So it comes down to wagers because no one got them all right. Let's start with Leah and Meghan. What did you guys wager?
We wagered 81 in case, they wagered everything and, that's what we would need to keep them out of play.
Okay. So you all ended up with a score of 59, which means Debbie and Zahkia, if you guys wagered 51 or fewer points, you are today's winners. What did you wager?
Well, spoiler alert, we did not do that. Zahkia and I were just like, it's women's episode, woohoo, feminism, all in, badass women. So we went all in and did all 110.
You love a risk taker.
For women.
Yeah. I still feel good about that.
All in for women. So with a final score of 59-0, Leah and Meghan are your winners today. Yay. But this was a close game. You guys, and I was talking about this with one of y'all in one of the chats. Kit did a phenomenal job, not just writing questions, but as always, pairing up teams that worked well together. You guys, bunch of good vibes in this episode. This was so fun. You love a women's episode. Yeah, thank you all for being here. And this is the part of the show where we do shout outs. Zahkia, do you wanna drive?
Sure. I will take over the car. Spin the wheels. So our winning team is Leah and Meghan. Leah, is there anything that you would like to shout out?
Well, I sing for a queer women's chorus. It's one of several organizations under the same umbrella. So there's also a men's chorus and a small ensemble and an acting company. This year is Gala, which is a big conference basically of LGBTQ choruses across the country and internationally, I believe some come from. So I would ask and recommend that folks look into whether you've got one in your areas, and if so, I'm sure they have concerts that they would love you to attend. And in this year in particular, because people are trying to, raise money so that their members can go to this conference that is, I haven't been to before because it's only held once every 4 years, and 2020 was canceled. But those I've spoken with who've been there before say it is amazing. It's fantastic. There's a lot of community building. Song is just an amazing way to make connections as well. So look for your queer local choruses. That would be my shout out.
That's
very
awesome.
cool. Meghan, you're up next.
Well, thank you guys for having me on, and thanks for Erin writing a wonderful show and Kit for helping and for pairing me with Leah, who saved my behind through this game. On a serious note, I want to say women's rights, trans rights are under attack, so contact your representatives, be an active voice in your community, especially this being a Women's Month episode. Reproductive rights are human rights. On a lighter note, I did talk about adult ballet. I talked a little bit about adult gymnastics. I want to encourage anybody out there, live your dreams. If there's something you wanted to do as a kid that you weren't able to do because of time, money, resources, seek it out as an adult. It's never too late. There are adult opportunities that never existed for adults 10, 15, 20 years ago. So if there's something you wanted to learn how to do or you wanted to get involved with, take that step. It's scary as heck, but be brave and take that step. You'll be glad you did.
Yeah, you're never too old.
Yeah, I love that. All right, Teamy. You're up.
Thank you guys for having me. This is my first time on the show, and I had a blast. Yeah, this was amazing. I just want to shout out my daughter. She's 2.5, so it will be quite some time before she'll listen to this, especially with the question about the Hitachi. I don't have to explain that yet. But also the people, my other contestants and hosts, have no idea this because you can only see me from here up. But I'm 30 weeks pregnant with my second right now.
Oh my goodness!
Congrats!
Yeah, we're having a boy, so not Women's Month, but I'm just shouting out him as well. And then kind of segueing into my kind of cause that I want to recommend is just support your local libraries. We have a children's library that's about 5 minutes away from our house, and it's wonderful. They hold events for kids. We go there and pick up 4 or 5 books almost every week, and they have arts and crafts, and it's just a lovely place. And kind of what Meghan said, I agree with everything she said, but also, there's an attack on education and intellectualism. And so supporting your local libraries and making sure that they know that they're a valued part of the communities and stuff, because they do so much more than checking out books. So yeah, that's my cause right now.
That is
good
super
cause.
Awesome.
Great cause.
Well, so friends, I think this concludes Trivial Warfare Oops All Ladies 472. So for Leah, for Meghan, for Debbie, for Erin, I have been your leather woman, Zahkia Mendoza. And this is Trivial Warfare. See you next time.
Bye. I'm changing your nickname everywhere I have it for leather women.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TWA as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit propodcastingservices.com.
And because Kit put the spreadsheet together, I don't think I'm going to screw it up when I try to get the answers, which may be the first time that's ever happened.